We made it. Well, almost. Still got a day to go, but it is Friday. Finally. 20th day of March, 2020. I am Dan Kuntz. Getting ready to wrap up a week unlike any other week we've had in my memory anyway. It's been a trying week, no question about it, but we're hanging in there, and I'm glad that you decided to start your day with us here on the NCW Life channel. We'll have the latest COVID-19 news from a local perspective coming up in just a short little minute, so you don't want to miss that. And speaking of COVID-19, an ad hoc group has been put together. We'll be talking to a couple of the members of the We Stand Together Wenatchee group. Peter Spadoni and Beth Stipe will be in my studio in the back half of the hour for a live conversation of what they are planning to do. This group, basically, just we're here to help. We should all be here to help. Hopefully, we'll take we'll heed the words of Abraham Lincoln, and we'll appeal to the better angels of our nature, or the better nature of our angels, or whatever Abe said back in 1865, because this has been a trying times indeed, but we're here to give you the information that you need. So we do have news. We have a beautiful weather forecast for the first day of spring. Also, we'll let you know, we'll wrap it up from a statistical standpoint on the winter that has just ended. Wasn't much around here, as you might imagine. Also, vintage sports highlights. Vintage local sports highlights is the best we can do, I'm afraid, and everything else you're used to get your day going here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Clear skies, 36 degrees, going to be a beautiful day today. Let's not waste any more time. Let's take you around the valley in north central Washington with our Valley View cameras, courtesy of Localtel Sky-Fi high-speed wireless. Of course, that is the cross camera. Sun's just starting to get the job done. Give it, it's right now. Sunrise is right now, 7:02. Sunset tonight, 7:14, 12 hours and 12 minutes of daylight. By the way, we topped off at 59 degrees yesterday. That was just 1 degree off what the National Weather Service was predicting, so it was pretty much spot on. Our low yesterday was 31, though. That was pretty chilly. Our normal overnight low was about 36, so it was a little on the cool side, but we're in for a gorgeous weekend for the first weekend of spring, and boy, do we need it. So outside of a few high clouds, that's what we're dealing with, those peachy salmon skies. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Camera number 2. We're off to see Lake Chelan from, I'm thinking, the Lower Butte camera? It's one of the Butte cameras, according to Megan, and I'll take her word for it. She knows better than I do. Wapato Point sticking out there. You can see a great deal of the Manson area and beautiful Lake Chelan on this beautiful Friday. I love Lake Chelan. I need to spend more time up at Lake Chelan. I'm putting that on my list of things to do for the year 2020. According to Megan, that's the Upper Butte camera, and it is a spectacular view. Good morning, Chelan. We are the number 3 rated local live morning show in the greater Chelan area. Darn proud of that. Camera number 3. It is, let's see, I see a body of water. Sometimes I just can't make out what I'm looking at. Megan, you're going to have to help me out here. Oh, the Manson Water Tower. So we're still up at Chelan looking over at yeah, okay. There's actually 2 water towers that both have Sky-Fi cameras on them, and they're not that far apart. But this is one of the Manson Water Tower cameras it looks like down lake towards Lake Chelan, simply because, well, I see the sun coming up, so I'm just using logical thinking. In fact, you can see the butte pretty much in the middle of your screen, the camera that we just looked at. Camera number 4 is a slow dissolve to Leavenworth? Tumwater Canyon? Yep. Not quite in the Tumwater. If we had a camera in the Tumwater Canyon, you wouldn't be able to see much of anything. So it's just on that big high bluff right before you enter into the Tumwater Canyon on your way up to Coles Corner, Winton, and the Lake Wenatchee area. So we say good morning to our friends in Leavenworth. Hope everybody has a good Friday. We could use a good Friday. So that's our tour, courtesy of Localtel Sky-Fi high-speed wireless setup. Winter is done. It's in the books. Yay! And it wasn't much of a winter. National Weather Service sent us the winter statistics for the winter that has just passed. As you can see, for Wenatchee, which is right in the middle of your screen, wasn't much of anything, really. Certainly a far cry from winter of last year. Our lowest temperature came on January 15th. We got down to 13 degrees, but on March 5th, we got up to 64. That was a record breaker. But the one thing that jumps out at you all the way to the far right, our total snowfall for the entire winter, 7.3 inches. That is it. We had close to 30 inches of snow for the winter of 2 years ago. So, and their snowiest day, as you can see, was on January 16th when we had a little over 4 inches of snow on the ground, and that didn't last very long. So all things considered, it was a very mild and dry winter that is now departed us. But here's your 6 to 10 day outlook. So as the National Weather Service says, get outside and enjoy this beautiful spring weather, because after this weekend, things are going to change. As you can see, the 6 to 10 day outlook, March 25th through the 29th, is calling for below average temperatures and above average precipitation. So we're going to make up for the sunny and mild weather with cooler temperatures and wetter conditions, it looks like, through the rest of this month. That's your long-term forecast from the National Weather Service. Let's do a shorter-term forecast, like for the next 7 days, and there it is. Sunshine today, high of 62 degrees, very dry, very mild, all through the inland northwest, right through the weekend. Nothing happens until Sunday night. That's perfect timing. And then things change quite a bit. We'll have a stronger system coming in, a little breezy, maybe some light rain, certainly cooler temperatures. All in all, most of next week looks quite unsettled. So again, enjoy today. Lots of sunshine, high of around 62, maybe even 63 degrees, 36 for the overnight low tonight. We do it again on Saturday. Just a few high clouds, 62 degrees. Just a few clouds on Sunday. Most of Sunday morning and into the afternoon, we'll have quite a bit of sunshine. And that first of those systems begin to arrive late Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening. So we'll be mostly cloudy by the time we get to Sunday night, but still no complaints at all. Monday, clouds. No real rain. We're not anticipating any rain, but certainly overcast conditions. Cooler temperatures. Highs will be in the mid-50s on Monday. Cloudy Monday night, 34 for the overnight low. Slight chance of some light rain on Tuesday. Outside of that, partly cloudy skies. Cooler still, only 53 degrees. A brief dose of sunshine on Wednesday, and then more filtered sunshine on Thursday. Temperatures cooler than normal beginning on Monday, but no complaints at all about the weekend. This has been a very pleasant week weather-wise. So get out and enjoy. Try to remember your social distancing rules. Outside of that, hey, enjoy this weather. Get out and do it, because things are going to change. So that's a look from Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, who give your home a hug to the passes we go. Can't ask for better driving conditions in the Cascades. That's a live shot of Snoqualmie Pass. No advisories, no restrictions. Roadways bare and dry. Stevens Pass, no advisories, no restrictions. Roadways bare and dry, no skiers, of course, on Stevens Pass. That makes the traffic considerably lighter. Blewett Pass, no advisories, no restrictions. The roadway is bare and dry. Speaking of light traffic, once again, running errands yesterday afternoon after I was done with my official duties here at work. Just amazed about, well, I'm not amazed, but it's just odd to see such light traffic all over north central Washington and all over the Wenatchee Valley. It's odd, is what it is. And by the way, there's absolutely no snow in the forecast for the mountain passes until at least Monday, and even then, they're not going to get much snow, so you're good to go. It's 8 minutes after the hour. There's a lot of news to get to, almost all of it COVID-19 related from a local perspective. We will have the news in 1 minute. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
The world around us is constantly changing. Major employers in north central Washington have expressed a need for capable, qualified engineering technologists who can think critically and solve problems. And at Wenatchee Valley College, we listened. We are pleased to offer a Bachelor of Applied Science Engineering Technology degree to provide you with a world of new opportunities. Your time is now. The future is waiting for you.
Did you know that nearly 50% of pet poisoning cases involve human medications and prescription drugs? Sometimes the culprit's a curious dog, but cats get into their share of trouble as well. Other times, pet owners mistakenly give their pets their own medications that are safe to people but toxic to their pets. Dr. Shauna Baez and her staff care about your pets. Go to pawsandclawsvh.com for a complete list of medications to avoid, or call 888-PAWS.
Just about 10 minutes after the hour, we have clear skies and 35 degrees. Quite a bit of sunshine, highs in the lower 60s today, tomorrow. Sunday, the clouds will start thickening up, and then we have cooler and unsettled weather for most of next week. And here's what's making headlines. Officials from throughout the Wenatchee Valley gave a joint press conference Thursday afternoon on the steps of Wenatchee City Hall. It's all about, of course, the COVID-19 pandemic. The mayors of Wenatchee and East Wenatchee joined other speakers to encourage social distancing to minimize the spread of the illness. Almost all of them called the public health effort a once-in-a-generation project.
You know, I'm 56 years old. I've been through a few events in my life, maybe watching the man land on the moon and 9/11, and you remember where you were on certain events. And this is a time in our country's history where we need to do extraordinary things. And some of the folks in my generation don't know about those things. And so here's really a request from your leaders that there are things that we can do as a community to make us healthier and prevent this pandemic from spreading. And it's extremely important that we take measures now. And so it's our time in our community to do great things. We will come out of this, but right now it's time for us to take extraordinary measures.
It's a very unusual situation. We haven't been here in public health terms for probably over 100 years. And so it's something we all need to respond to. Personally, my approach is to remain calm and remain focused. And I hope that as many of our neighbors and friends can do that as possible, because that's what we need to do.
I finding that this community is really resourceful and creative, and I encourage people to, continue to find those ways to reach out to your neighbor. Maybe that does not mean that you're going over and sitting down and having coffee, but maybe it's a phone call, or maybe it's just a text message or a funny Facebook post that you put out there to encourage your neighbor and help folks along. This is difficult. People, the emotional roller coaster ride that folks are feeling is real, and the part that we can play to support each other that way is great. I love that creative thinking.
Now, health officials at the press conference stressed the need to keep coronavirus infections down so health resources are available for those people with other medical conditions.
So at Confluence Health, we unfortunately had the one individual a couple of weeks ago who was hospitalized and has passed away with this disease. And in our screening over the last few days, we have had 2 patients come positive with that, 61 others over the course of the last 2 weeks that we've been intermittently testing are negative, and there are 308 pending samples out there. The other message I want to give off the bat is COVID-19 is not the only health condition in this city or in this region. All of the usual things like heart attacks and strokes and infections from other organisms are continuing. There are still people with diabetes, there are still people with high blood pressure, there are still people with asthma, and we need to continue all of those healthcare efforts, because we will come out of this and we will still be a community, and we're going to need to have healthy people in this community to carry us forward.
This is a special time. And now our biggest partner for keeping people healthy and well is the community itself. It's often said that health is determined more by what individuals do than by what happens in a doctor's office. What individuals need to do now is exactly what Peter and Barry were talking about. Staying out of large groups, staying at home, call it social distancing, call it whatever you want. That will do more to make sure we get through this as well as we do than anything else.
The latest numbers this morning from the Washington State Department of Health say 74 people in Washington have died from coronavirus-related illnesses, and 1,376 people are known to be infected shortly after 5 o'clock last night. An open letter to the citizens of Chelan County, Douglas County, the city of Wenatchee, and the city of East Wenatchee was issued. I'm going to read a portion of it here. You can read this entire letter, by the way, on our Facebook page. It was issued by Wenatchee Mayor Frank Kuntz, East Wenatchee Mayor Gerald A. Crawford, and the Board of Commissioners for both Chelan and Douglas County, all of them. And as you can see on your screen, I'm going to read this. Our healthcare leaders at Confluence Health and Columbia Valley Community Health say the next week is especially crucial in stemming the spread of the coronavirus in the region. If the spread is not stemmed over the next week or so, and there is a sudden surge in cases in the days ahead, they are very concerned our local hospitals will be overwhelmed and unable to care for all those inflicted. This is a situation that requires an area-wide partnership in order to protect a valued and critical segment of our community. The letter goes on to say, we ask every resident, no matter what age, to stay inside their homes as much as possible for the next week. Not doing so could jeopardize the health and safety of our residents and communities. This is not to say you can't buy groceries if you need to go get food or go outside for some fresh air, but practice social distancing and stay at least 6 feet away from others in the checkout line or whatever the case may be. You can read that letter in its entirety by going to our Facebook page. Strange times indeed. The COVID-19 response has reached local superior courts. The Washington State Supreme Court on Wednesday gave guidance to local courts to help prevent the spread of the virus in their courtrooms. Douglas County Superior Court Judge Brian Huber promptly postponed all criminal and civil trials until at least May 1st, and Chelan County Superior Court Judge Leslie Allen issued a similar order yesterday. Many cases will be heard by telephone. Public offices in both counties are closing in response to the pandemic. The Chelan County Assessor, Community Development Office, Noxus Weed Departments, they're all going to shut down on Monday. The Chelan County Sheriff's Office, Human Resources, Public Works, and Probation already have closed their doors to face-to-face business this week. Douglas County Commissioners, of course, as you know by now, passed a resolution Wednesday to close all access to their county offices, and both counties encourage residents to use online services as much as possible. The head of the State Department of Agriculture says there's no need for the public to be concerned that store shelves are going to go empty. Director Derek Sanderson said on Wednesday the food supply chain continues to function, and the state and federal governments are working to ensure it continues that way during the coronavirus outbreak. Trooper John Bryant of the Washington State Patrol was out Wednesday at a rest stop near Cle Elum checking on part of that food supply chain.
Trooper Bryant with the State Patrol, your District 6 Public Information Officer. I'm here at the Indian John rest area in the truckers section where the commercial vehicles are at. You can see a lot of them lined up taking a nice rest. Why am I here? Well, to let you know that the federal government has relaxed a lot of the commercial vehicle standards for them to get goods and services to everybody, especially anything medical or goods that everybody needs, toilet paper, water, those things that you shouldn't be hoarding. What I want everyone to do out there is, give the truckers a break, and I want the truckers as well to just follow the rules of the road. You'll get there and we'll get stores set up and good to go. So let's help each other out on the roadway.
Good stuff from Trooper Bryant there. Link Transit began offering free rides yesterday, and it's going to continue to do so until further notice. Link is waiving its fares in response to the COVID-19 outbreak, saying by bypassing the fare box, it will lessen close contact between drivers and passengers. Earlier this month, Link assured its passengers its buses and vans are cleaned and disinfected every night and are equipped with disinfectants that drivers can use throughout the course of the day. There is a non-coronavirus story to pass along to you. An alleged drunken driver early Thursday morning led police on a chase from South Wenatchee across both bridges and back, almost to the starting point. Wenatchee police arrested 33-year-old Megan Rebecca Beam from Baker City, Oregon. They say she fled in a stolen car after officers tried to pull her over about 3:17 near the George Suller Bridge. This is 3:17 in the morning, as you can see. She allegedly drove across the bridge north on Sunset Highway, back across the Otabashian Bridge, back into Wenatchee. The car was finally stopped at Mission Street and Spokane. 4 different police agencies got involved in the pursuit. Beam faces possible charges of DUI, possessing a stolen vehicle, and fleeing police. One last item of business to get to on the coronavirus situation. The Wenatchee School District has come to the realization that even though they're offering a free drop-off, drive-up and pick-up meals for kids in the Wenatchee School District, they also understand that some people simply can't physically get to the various schools, which is almost all of them in the Wenatchee School District, to pick up their complimentary breakfast and lunch. So they're going to start doing mobile meal delivery. So this is the Wenatchee School District. Prepackaged breakfast and lunch will be delivered by school employees to designated spots along bus routes in the outer regions of the district service area. So Malaga and up to the Wenatchee Heights and up in the Sunny Slope, places like that. And also within high-need areas within the city of Wenatchee and within the Wenatchee School District's boundaries. And these mobile meal deliveries will begin Monday, March 23rd, will continue until April 24th. They will be delivered Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., and they're available to any child, whether they go to the Wenatchee School District or not, up to the age of 18. And that's what's making news on what's been a very busy week, and for many people, a very trying week at 20 minutes after the hour. We'll be back at it again, putting together another newscast for you to stay in the loop and be informed. It airs at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. And with the preview, here's the anchor, Grant Olson.
Good morning, Dan. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, we'll have all the latest on the COVID-19 outbreak. Today is the first full day of spring, and boy, will it feel like it. I'll have your complete North Central Washington weather forecast, and Eric Granstrom will be in with more of his No Sports, No Problems series. That and more coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. Hope to see you then. Dan?
Thank you, Grant. I will be watching. We hope you do, too, and we'd love to hear from you, our viewers. You've been very good about sending us all kinds of cool stuff and just dropping us a line, letting us know how you think we're doing. Let us know what's happening out there. Yeah, this is as much your TV station as it is ours. Look at the bottom of your screen. Go to our Facebook page. Drop us a line via Facebook Messenger. If you want to email us, you can email us directly, news@ncwlife.com. And ncwlife.com is also our website. It's our homepage. We populate it all the time. And if you look at the very top of our homepage, you'll see the Contact Us icon. If you click on that and fill out the form, we'll get it here as well. 21 minutes after the hour, going to take a break. Vintage high school sports highlights. It's the best we can do. Coming up, plus the obscure holiday. We got today in history, one very significant celebrity birthday to pass along to you. Mike McNaughty has an opinion you might enjoy. And then Peter Spadoni and Beth Stipe will be joining me from a brand new group. It's called We Stand Together Wenatchee. They'll be live in this studio in the second half of the hour. You're watching a Friday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
My name is Lacey Haggerty, and I am a nurse midwife with Columbia Valley Community Health. I love all aspects of my job because it is a profession that's very committed to empowering women to make decisions in their health care that feel best for them. It's incredibly valuable to me as a midwife that I get to take care of women throughout their whole lifespan. I hope to see you at a future visit because I know you'll love having midwifery care.
Contractors, furniture makers, and weekend do-it-yourselfers around North Central Washington will tell you that Lombard's Hardwood Supply is the place to get what you need. Lombard's full millwork shop can handle jobs large or small. Lombard's has a full line of interior and exterior doors available, as well as custom barn doors. From alderwood to zebrawood and everything in between, it's Lombard's Hardwood Supply on School Street in Sunny Slope. Like us on Facebook and check out our monthly special. Back at 23 minutes after the hour, sports. We're going to begin with a warning because if you really like sports like we really like sports and you miss sports, you're going to miss sports even more after this sportscast. So now you've been forewarned. So high school sports, of course, we're not doing it right now because they're not playing. Normally we would be knee-deep in high school spring sports. But we got you covered. We're going to do the best we can. You can tune in tonight at 7 o'clock for both ends of a Big Nine baseball doubleheader from a season ago between the Wenatchee Panthers and the West Valley Rams. Game 1 went Wenatchee's way. Joel Norman had the call on the NCW Life channel.
Check that, 444 at the end, 778 OPS. It's a hit and run, and it gets underneath the glove of the third baseman, Wolf, into left field. The throw going over to third is not in time, so advancing over to third is Thomas. Coming through with a clutch hit is Huffaker. An RBI single to score TJ Shirting, and the Wenatchee Panthers are on board 1-0. An RBI single by Huffaker here in the bottom of the first. Still no outs in the inning. Thomas over at third after he singled 2 batters ago. Huffaker at first after his RBI single. Now Haynes connects on this one towards center, moving over a bit to his right and making the catch is the center fielder. He'll throw that one in, but not in time, as reaching and scoring on the play due to that sacrifice fly is Thomas. After Emerson, the left fielder, grounded out to move Blackney over to third, and he swings and connects, and that'll bring in another run as that gets down in right center field. Hagum heading towards second. The throw not going to get him, and he's in there with a stand-up RBI double. It's 3-0 Wenatchee in the second inning in double headers. Connects on this one, and he does have his first base hit of the season. A single to left field. 1 run is in. Rubash is rounding third, and he's going to score as well. A 2 RBI single by Carson Emerson, and it's 5-0 Wenatchee in the third.
I miss baseball. Spoiler alert, Wenatchee went on to win Game 1, 10-0 in 5 innings. They also won the nightcap 6-zip. Again, you can watch all the action tonight starting at 7 right here on this very television station. So if that's not enough, we got a couple of great soccer matches for you tomorrow afternoon and evening right here on this very television station. Tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock, we got the Wenatchee and Eastmont game from March 26th at snowy Lee Bofto Field at the Apple Bowl. The Panthers and the Wildcats, of course, great rivals. It was a classic matchup. Sebastian Moraga and Matt Wiesen had the call right here.
Camarillo. Gergerson's lighted out of position. The shot across. Viene. Goal.
Offside. No goal. No goal, offside.
Oh, my goodness. Vasquez, right-footed shot. Vasquez! Oh, my goodness.
Heck of a save. Great shot.
Oh, my goodness. We're still in action. Now it goes out of bounds. Some front-page worthy stuff. Camarillo. The run-up. The shot. Camarillo. Goal. Wenatchee takes the lead. Jose Camarillo at the edge of halftime. Taken back by Wenatchee.
Good looking ball there.
Good ball that time. Left-footed shot. Right-footed shot, I beg your pardon.
Oh, great save.
And a beautiful save by Jeremy Gregerson. Counter in the making, indeed, yes. Lopez. Off to the races is Camarillo. Into the box. Camarillo shot across. Who's going to sink it in? Oh, my goodness. Camarillo. Goal. Jose Camarillo makes it 2-0 Wenatchee. Nelson. And there's the whistle that indicates that this game is over and Wenatchee has defeated its arch rival from across the bridge, Eastmont, by a score of 2-0.
I miss soccer, too. Tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, we have Wenatchee hosting another Big Nine tilt, this time the Moses Lake Chiefs. This game from April 2nd of last year. Once again, Sebastian Moraga and Matt Wiesen with the call.
Deep ball, Camarillo, the touch over the header, goalkeeper, viene, goal! Jose Camarillo makes this a 1-0 Wenatchee lead, Matt Wiesen.
Great first touch on that ball. Not the greatest of reads by the Moses Lake keeper. And fantastic composure by Camarillo to put that away. Just needs to find ways to involve his teammates a little bit more.
Deep ball, good ball. Camarillo, left-footed shot. Camarillo, goal! Marked that time by Josue Rodriguez. Shot across, far post. There's Camarillo with a lot of room. Goal! Speaking of counter-cut, there's Chaporta. The shot, Chaporta! And there's the first tally of the night for Moses Lake. Number 9, Spencer Bolduck. We'll see what happens after this one. So here comes Chaporta. Personal maneuver, Chaporta. He leaves the keeper behind, and it's 3-2. Moses Lake is trying to pull off here at the Apple Bowl, Matt Wiesen.
Yeah, they're...
Shot across, pivoting header, Camarillo, the shot, goal!
Back to a 2-goal lead. That was a dangerous ball in the middle. You never want that thing to touch the ground. And, man, Jose just seems to be a magnet with that ball.
Told you, those highlights just make you miss sports. And now, of course, our continuing series, Eric Granstrom and his his continuing series, no sports, no problem.
So what's a sports guy do when there's no sports? You continue to make up games that you can do very cheaply and with items you probably have around the house. Today, it's tabletop bowling. All right, here we go. First of all, mark the table with the tape. Again, ask mom and dad if it's okay to put tape down. This is gaffer's tape, so it doesn't really stick that much. I also put pieces of tape down around the base of all of my dry erase markers. You can use whatever you like to make up your pins. And then, of course, we've got your choice between a golf ball and a ping pong ball. So the choice is easy. And then also this, if you teach the kids how to keep score, helps with the math skills while they're playing bowling inside, having a good time while everybody's under quarantine. So let's try some tabletop bowling here. Okay, tabletop bowling. I'm going to try the ping pong ball first. That might be a little bit more of a challenge, not so much weight. So here we go, rolling the ball. Okay, that didn't work so well. Let's try the ping pong or the golf ball. That'll probably work a lot better. All right, here we go. Knock down 2 pins, got to pick up 8. Second roll. Oh, almost almost got them all. Not bad. There you go. Tabletop bowling. That's what a sports guy does when there's no sports.
And you can watch Eric's entire tabletop bowling in a special 4-hour broadcast on Sunday night. I'm kidding. Those are just some of the games that people aren't playing on this Friday. We need a little levity at 30 minutes after the hour. The obscure holiday of the day today. I'm back to food. It's National Ravioli Day. I love ravioli. Big fan of ravioli. Who doesn't like ravioli? You know, if you're a pasta lover, I'm certainly one of those. Ravioli, of course, you just take, you know, whatever and put it between two thinly sealed egg pasta doughs, be it meatball, whatever you want. All kinds of different things you can put inside the ravioli, cheese, whatever. It's comfort food in a time where we're not real comfortable. Ravioli is almost always a main course, but you can serve it as a side course or an appetizer. And of course, there's deep fried ravioli, which came about by accident way back in the 1940s at Old Donnie's restaurant in St. Louis, Missouri. A piece of ravioli accidentally fell into the fryer. And they took it out and they cooled it down and they took a bite of it and they went, hey, this is good. That's the urban legend anyway. I'm going to go with it. Ravioli. Want some right now. Happy National Ravioli Day. All right. Today in history. Happy 166th birthday to the Republican Party. The Republican Party of the United States, organized in Ripon, Wisconsin on this day, March 20th, 1854. They ran a candidate for the presidency in 1856, didn't win. James Buchanan did. They did better in 1860. They nominated Abe Lincoln. The rest is history. The Grand Old Party, the Republican Party, was founded on this date 166 years ago. This is the 105th anniversary of Albert Einstein first publishing his general theory of relativity. Now, Albert Einstein is a lot smarter than I am. I'm assuming he's correct. Nobody's told me otherwise. Happy birthday to the general theory of relativity. Albert Einstein published it 105 years ago today. A couple of baseball items. The New York Mets were getting ready to play baseball in their first year in existence. They were chartered by the National League. They just needed a place to play. And they said, why don't we play at Yankee Stadium? And the Yankees said, ain't going to happen. Nope. Welcome to New York, Mets. Have fun. But you're not going to play your games at our ballpark. And there was only one other ballpark in metropolitan New York that existed, the old Polo Grounds, which was a dump. It just reeked of cigar smoke and urine. It was just awful, but the Mets had no other choice, so they had to play their first 2 years in 62 and 63 before they moved to Shea Stadium because the Yankees wouldn't let them play in Yankee Stadium. Kicked them out of the sandbox. That happened on this date 59 years ago today. And very quietly, with almost no real notice at all, March 20th, 1989, 31 years ago today, Commissioner Peter Ubroth issued a press release saying he and his office had begun an investigation into the behavior of Cincinnati Reds manager Pete Rose. The first domino began to fall in the Pete Rose scandal. He didn't say anything. He just said, we're just investigating the behavior of Pete Rose. Of course, we all know what it eventually led to by the end of 1989. 34 minutes after the hour. One birthday, and boy, do we need this guy. He's still an inspiration. Fred Rogers was born in this state in 1928, died of stomach cancer 17 years ago at the age of 74. We miss Fred Rogers. His show is on PBS on Saturday and Sunday mornings, reruns, and I watch him because it's good stuff. Fun facts about Fred Rogers: he was red-green colorblind. He swam every morning. He didn't drink. He didn't smoke. He was a vegetarian, but he was a vegetarian on ethical grounds. He said, I'm not going to eat anything that had a mother. Fair enough. His office at the studios at WQED in Pittsburgh, where the show was filmed, was famous because it didn't have a desk. He had sofas and armchairs. Fred Rogers said, desks are a barrier. I don't want one. Mr. Rogers, of course, fed his fish during Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. They were named Fennel and Frida, but you didn't know that. And my favorite quote from Fred Rogers, something we could all take to heart: one of the greatest gifts you can give anybody is the gift of your honest self. He also believed that kids can spot a phony a mile away. And he's right. We miss you, Fred. 35 minutes after the hour. Going to take a break. Got an opinion from Mike McNaughty. He's always got an opinion. And then there's a brand new group that just formed. It's called We Stand Together Wenatchee. And two members of that ad hoc group, Peter Spadoni and Beth Stipe, will be joining me live in the studio when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
Winter is a great time to trade in your current hot tub. Turn your old hot tub into money with Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa's trade-in program. And with Blue Lagoon's home show pricing, you can save $500 to $1,000 off of any new artesian spa or take advantage of a free Bluetooth music experience. Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa recommends draining your hot tub every 3 months. Ask us about our drain and refill special for only $99. Stop on by Blue Lagoon Pool & Spa today.
I have a hereditary bone disease from the female side of my family. My bone loss was so significant that you could almost see the roots. I became embarrassed and I started covering my mouth. Eating became very difficult as far as I stopped eating apples, corn on the cob, things that you just eat as it is without utensils. Dr. Divis was my dentist prior to having implants. We talked about traditional dentures or implants, and implants was the only way really that I could go. John Divis and all of his office staff, they checked on me throughout all the processes. I would never go anyplace else. Today, I can eat corn on the cob, I can have apples. Thanks to Dr. John Divis and his staff, I have my smile back. I feel more confident. I am me again.
This is John Divis. Let our team help you solve your dental needs.
It's going on 4 decades of doing business in the Wenatchee Valley. And I want people to know that it matters. It matters to me that people choose to do business with us. It matters that people trust us, trust us. That matters more than anything.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, there's an old saying, clothes make the man. Really? This seems kind of naive and prejudicial to me. Just because some guy is nicely dressed, does that mean he's a better man, a man of greater integrity and character than someone who's less well-dressed? Now, granted, a person's outward appearance can sometimes be an expression of their inner personality. Actually, quite often, clothing-wise, that's the effect many people are after. But let's face it, just because somebody's dressed nice, it doesn't mean they are nice. Now, this is Mike Mad Dog McNaughty, and that's my opinion.
Coming home should never be a chore. Let Merry Maids of Wenatchee customize all your cleaning needs. Weekly, bi-weekly, special occasion. Do you have a vacation home that needs cleaning? We clean them too. Locally owned and operated, let Merry Maids do the cleaning while you focus on your family and friends. Merry Maids has special offers to fit your budget. Request your free cleaning estimate today. 509-663-1710.
With TV advertising, what we want to do is more deeply connect with the community.
people spot me in different parts around North Central, Costco and Wenatchee, say, hey, you're the pizza guy. And so they wouldn't know that if it weren't for the TV commercials we've done.
We've been here so long that people already know who we are and what we do, but to have that image flash on their television screen as opposed to just hearing it in the radio or seeing it in the newspaper, I just love the fact that we can actually put our finger on when a customer comes in and says, I saw your ad.
It's becoming increasingly difficult in this digital age to know where are your customers listening or watching, because I watch all the different channels that they watch too, like Cooking Channel, History Channel, and so it was wonderful to be able to be on there.
I would say that if you want to do business in Wenatchee, then you should connect with the people of Wenatchee, and there's no better way to do that than with NCW Life.
RLS Productions is proud to bring to the NCW Life channel the Concerts in the Gardens series held at Omi Gardens. The series features performances from Rare Earth's Peter Rivera, Heart by Heart, To Slim and the Tail Draggers, The Infinity Project, the Wenatchee Swingin' Big Band, and a whole host of other great acts. Tune in Wednesdays at 2 and 7 p.m. and Saturdays at 10 p.m. RLS Productions Concerts in the Gardens Summer Series, only on the NCW Life channel.
We're back at 41 minutes after the hour in Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. Trying times, strange times indeed, but I believe that there's some good stuff that can come out of what's been going on over the last 2.5 to 3 weeks. And among those good things that are coming out is a group that just kind of got together and said, let's do something. Let's do something. The group is called We Stand Together Wenatchee, and two of the members of that group are joining me. The lovely lady to my immediate left is no stranger to us, Beth Stipe, of course, when she's not in front of the camera. She is Executive Director of the Community Foundation, North Central Washington. Peter Spadoni is a practicing attorney with JDSA Law here in Wenatchee. Welcome to the program on this last second. Can you come in and do a deal? I appreciate it from both of you.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Dan. Yep, I appreciate it. We Stand Together Wenatchee. First of all, I love the name. Peter, I'll let you handle the first question. How did this group come together?
It actually started when I saw a little clip on a news show. I believe it was Everett, and it was some restaurateurs in Everett that were helping each other out as they were beginning to lay off staff and other businesses in the community. And the idea of the small businesses in the local community helping each other and finding a way to try to re-employ individuals who'd lost their employment because of the virus crisis, and trying to help the businesses navigate through all of the financial and regulatory impacts that the crisis was creating. So I reached out to Beth and to the other steering committee members, which are Katie and Doug Pauley, and Blair McCaney, Rufus Woods, Gene Sherritt, and we got together and have been meeting and trying to put together resources in order to help the businesses of the valley and work through and survive and help each other as this continual, and I'm going to call it a crisis, of both impact on both the health and the financial side, economic side of our livelihood in our lives. It grows longer and longer. So right now we have been working with a number of other organizations to launch a web presence and be a clearinghouse where businesses trying to survive and trying to assist their employees can reach out to us, and we can help find for them resources and advice and assistance, everything from just general advice to actual financial assistance, and put them in touch with and help provide those kind of benefits so that we can together survive and work through this crisis over the next weeks, months that it will be in front of us.
Larger local businesses have the wherewithal, for the most part, to ride out this storm. It's the smaller businesses, the smaller locally owned businesses that are the ones who are really going to take a hit, are they not? I mean, they're the ones who are really kind of going, oh man.
I'm not certain that there's a distinction.
Yeah.
I would agree.
because the larger local businesses have a larger payroll. They have larger debt service. There will be stress and real issues for all of the businesses in the valley, and I mean obviously in the nation, but we are trying to support each other and be here, which is where the name came from. We stand together. And if I can employ someone who has lost their job working for you, Dan, and even if it's part-time, if we can do that, we're going to try and do that. And we're going to try and find someone else who can employ the other person that lost a job. If we can help arrange an SBA loan or an interest moratorium or other assistance. I mean, if we can help a business work through the brand new law that was just passed by the federal government, which becomes effective on April 2nd, requiring all employers of less than 500 employees to provide 12 weeks of additional family medical leave, to provide 2 weeks of paid sick leave or assistance leave. The sick leave is paid at full pay. The assistance leave, if you're assisting someone else in your family, is paid at 2/3 pay. I mean, a business with less than 500 employees, down to 2 employees, down to 1 employee, is required to do this. There is an exemption with no regulations that says if the provision of this assistance is going to jeopardize the viability of the business, that business might be able to get an exemption. But no one knows what that means yet. But helping navigate through that problem, and these are going to be difficult times. As we look at the stay-at-home separation, if you look at what California just did, ordering everyone to really stay home, my question comes up, great, who's going to write the payroll check? And, you know, this is something we're all going to struggle with. We're all going to find ways and be able to share those best practices between each other and how we're planning to do that. I mean, Beth, you really should talk about the website presence and what we're doing.
Please, Beth.
Yeah, so also on the flip side of things, you know, one of the reasons that we got together is that we want to make sure that we've got the nonprofit side of things covered as well as the for-profit side, because that is the breadth of our community. And so the Community Foundation has been working specifically in the nonprofit side of things and working with our nonprofit partners to understand what they're going through right now. We've had several of them who have had to cancel their big fundraising events. And those dollars haven't been replaced at this point. And so what is that going to mean? And, you know, the unfortunate or fortunate thing is that we've been through this less than a decade ago. And so from the Community Foundation's perspective, you know, our board sat down and said, this is a marathon, not a sprint. And so how are we going to change the way that we do business, look upon those lessons that we had in 2008, 9, and 10, and move forward with changing the way that we work so that we can help support the nonprofit side as well as the for-profit side, because they go hand in hand.
Yep.
And, you know, we need people employed. We need them to be able to pay their rent, pay their mortgages, buy food. That whole cycle of the economy has come in a lot of ways to a screaming halt. And so we've got to work together to try to push that forward. So there are a couple things that have happened. Grassroots DataWorks has put together the togetherwenatchee.com, which is a really awesome website. I was on a call with some folks and I shared that, and there was somebody from Missoula, Montana that was on that call, and they sent me an email and said, wow, that is something really awesome. And this is I think a really great thing about this community is that we have such talent here, and it's such a generous community that we're able to kind of take these things and run with them. So we've got the togetherwenatchee.com where for-profit entities can post their reduced hours, what they're doing for takeout. A lot of restaurants are on that. I know the Works Gym is on that as well, talking about how they are keeping their employees on payroll, and you know, they're doing some things around the gym, but at the same time there's a little note that says if you're a member that needs errands run because you are isolating because you're at a high risk person for the virus, to call them, and they'll send someone out to help you. So I think everybody's kind of like stepping up and doing their part, and that's, I think, the great thing. You and I were talking before we started here that there are just all these great stories of people stepping up and doing really extraordinary things during this unprecedented time, and we love to see that. The Chamber of Commerce is going to host our We Stand Together site for the business community. So Peter and John McQuaig and several others have stepped up and said, hey, we're willing to do some webinars around some of these new rules and how to go about maneuvering through them if you're a business, but also some one-on-one consulting. And so we're still working through the process of what that looks like, but I talked to Shiloh Burgess last night, and the Chamber's also working through some of those things, also with a lot of the regulations to come up with ways that we can help our businesses navigate through this new thing that's changing all the time.
The nonprofits are going to be, specifically the nonprofits that help out in social services, food banks, community, serve Wenatchee Valley, people like this, and there's a lot of them, they all do great work. They're going to be especially stressed because the services that they render to the less fortunate in our valley are going to be needed now more than ever.
Correct.
What have you heard from some of those kinds of folks?
Well, we've talked with Community Action Council, which is kind of the clearinghouse for the food banks, and at this point in time, they are just kind of shifting the way that they do business. It's now a drive-through business where before people would go in, oftentimes they would do maybe a small meal, soup or a sandwich for folks while they were doing their shopping at the food bank. That's gone away as well. So that's all changing, but at this point, we understand that they have food. But again, this is a marathon, and that is also going to change as we progress through this crisis and how things play out in the near future, which nobody really knows because this is new territory. And so, again, we're trying to take on those lessons that we learned in the last economic downturn and parlay those into this new reality that we have. We've heard from the Humane Society, they've had to stop people coming in and adopting dogs. They've also had an increase in surrenders with people who are perhaps ill or taking care of someone that's ill.
And now they told us yesterday they're not even accepting surrenders now for the time being. If you have a dog or a cat that you need to turn into there, they said we can't do that right now.
Yeah. So, and I know that they're asking folks that if you can, please come and foster a dog. So everybody's trying to do their part. We've got kids coming home from college because colleges have shut down across the country, and those, I shouldn't call them kids, those students. Are looking for opportunities to engage back into the community. So we're trying to find ways to do that. There's also a website called JustServe.org where folks can look and see where there are volunteer opportunities. We're also looking at togetherwenatchee.com to nonprofits can become a vendor, and they can post any volunteer activities or goods and services that they might need, that kind of thing. The Community Foundation is reaching out to our donors and encouraging them to support their favorite nonprofits because they're going to need a lot of support in the next year at least. And beyond that for sure, but certainly they're going to struggle.
The leaders of our local governmental agencies, the City of Wenatchee, the City of East Wenatchee, and the commissioners of both Chelan and Douglas County all together unanimously sent out this letter it's an open letter to the community. And I want to just, one thing that I'm going to specify on this in this statement. We ask and I'm quoting directly, we ask every resident, no matter what age, to stay inside their homes as much as possible for the next week. Not doing so could jeopardize the health and safety of our residents and communities. A lot of this is going to be, because people are self-quarantined, is going to be an online kind of a thing, right?
Absolutely.
That's the key.
And one of the things that, as I'm listening to Beth, and I want to express is the need for hope, the need for us to remember that a dear old friend of mine called me when this broke out and said, Peter, just wanted to check and see how you're doing. I'm living up here on top of a mountain in rural Montana. Said, there's always room up here. The virus would have to come a long trail to catch us. But you need to remember on December 8th, 1941, we all had to get up and go back to work. Mm-hmm. He said, and it is important for you to remember that just like panic, calmness is contagious, and you need to be that contagion.
How does John Q. Public get involved with We Stand Together Wenatchee? What can we do as a general public to help your organization?
Probably right now, the best thing you can do is we are planning to be live on the web in the next few days, and it would be on the Wenatchee Chamber of Commerce's website. There will be a page for We Stand Together. On that page, we will post materials and information. We will also be planning to post needs as well as opportunities for people to volunteer resources. When you see a need that is posted there, you may have the resource or the answer, and the idea is to bring us together to be able to answer those needs and those questions, because you have figured out one thing that I have not, and I have something you did not, and we then can hold each other up through this process.
I was born and raised here in the Wenatchee Valley, spent almost my entire adult life here. I've never seen a time when the people who live in called North Central Washington home didn't give a damn. This is a remarkably giving community.
Agreed.
Beth is a conduit of that. Hopefully you guys will be disbanding very soon. But in the meantime, it sounds like this is a great clearinghouse for any kind of information that you need of all kinds.
That is our intent. And particularly, we are focusing on trying to help the regional businesses and their employees. That's our primary focus, to help and assist those businesses in our valley that are struggling in these times, those individuals who were employed there, and it's really through helping the business help their employees and finding creative ways to do that. We have businesses that we know of that are continuing to pay employees who have all gone home. And it's that kind of example, and finding ways that they can do that most effectively.
We're almost out of time. Anything else you want to add, Beth, while I have you here?
So,
first of all, it's great to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Anything else you want to add?
I would love for everybody to go and check out the Community Foundation's website, cfncw.org. The board has expanded our Helping Hands Emergency Grant Program, and those grants will be used to help the nonprofit sector, and we're looking at ways that we can parlay that into supporting our greater community. Not sure what that's looking like. Our board had an emergency meeting last night to expand that criteria. So that's coming as well. We also have a resource page, including some resources for parents who are home trying to teach their children new math. And so all of those good things. And there's, like Peter said, people are stepping up all over the country. And so we're trying to get all of those resources that are out there out to people. And it's so interesting. Our biggest fear is that the internet breaks, because we're so all this stuff is happening via these channels, and you're going to see from our perspective a whole lot of really bad iPhone videos from people who don't have any clue what they're doing with these things, heads cut off and things like that. But
it's
that's
the
going to
spirit
be
that counts.
That's exactly right. That's going to be the mechanism that a lot of this stuff happens. And interestingly, technology is going to play into the hope and the calm and keeping us moving forward. And so we're really grateful to you to get this information out to our community members. Do what you can. If there is something that you can provide to your neighbor or to your family, we're all in this together. And so, as you said, this is a very giving community. There are ways to give money, there's ways to give time, there are ways to give your talents, and so just keep looking for those opportunities. And the Chamber and the Community Foundation, we're going to try to be clearinghouses of that information to get that out there.
We Stand Together Wenatchee. Peter, as soon as the website is up and running and fully functional, please let me know. We'll of course, get the word out.
Absolutely, we will.
Absolutely. And any help that you need from the NCW Life channel, we, of course, are on board to get the word out. Whatever we have, you have an open invitation to come by and see us whenever you feel the need to come by and see us, all right?
Thank you so much.
I appreciate it very much. Almost out of time. Just real quickly, the weather forecast for the upcoming weekend is gorgeous. We're looking at sunshine. Highs will be in the lower 60s today, tomorrow, right on into Sunday. A few high clouds coming in on Sunday. There's your forecast, courtesy of Patriot Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We cloud up a little bit on Sunday. The long-term forecast for all of next week, cooler and wetter than normal after a very mild winter. We'll take what we can get. But get out and enjoy the sunshine. Don't forget, even if you're out and about, whatever it is, please, the 6-foot rule, social distancing. It's critically important that you continue to do that. I know we violated the 6-foot rule, but our studio is only so big. Everybody have a good and safe weekend. We'll see you Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.